Hi, this is Jean Goldborn of Natasha Goldborn Foundation, today known as NGF Mindstrong. We would like to say thank you for the Globe rewards that Globe graciously gave us. We have now expanded our responders, and we need to expand more because of the pandemic. We're getting calls from 10 to 92 years old. Please give us more, donate, and we need to expand much bigger to reach out to those who have anxiety and depression during this pandemic. Thank you for your Globe Reward points.
Hello fellow Globe subscribers, John Santos po with a special announcement from Globe and the Natasha Goldborn Foundation, now known as NGF Mindstrong. This is about Project Hopeline Philippines. It's the first 24/7 support system that you can call for free if you're dealing with depression and anxiety, and these responders have even been there when needed for suicide intervention. This is a free hope line, but to run it, we need funding and we need your support. You could convert your rewards points from Globe into a donation to help sustain Hopeline Philippines. We need to sustain and expand operations and increase our team of responders. There has been a 250% increase in calls, and your help can really go a long way. Thank you. Let's do this. Let's do this together.
I'm going crazy, but no one knows. They don't see the monsters I keep. They come at me with all their claws, drifting me to a faraway place where I am made to believe that I am alone. I am consumed by the darkness, freed only by cutting my skin where black is replaced by red, and I am at peace in the comfort of color. There is a storm inside my head, washing away my existence, and yet they say it is not real. It is real, and I can't defeat it by myself.
Hi, this is Jean Goldborn. Welcome. Join us and be a member of the NGF Mindstrong movement. Our mission is to promote a very holistic approach to health. We focus on mental health, but mental health cannot be achieved without physical and spiritual health. We need strong minds, strong hearts, and a fantastic strong emotional resilience, especially today with our pandemic. I want to invite you to be part of a mentally healthy society. We all look for love. We all look for understanding, compassion, and kindness. Let us join forces in the search for happiness and hope. We wish to invite you, if you're a member of the school, a teacher, a student, a parent, or a leader in your community, a social worker, a doctor in a barangay, or somebody who works in public service. We wish to have you with us. We need each one of you to be a mental health advocate and be a member of the NGF Mindstrong movement. And we, the NGF Mindstrong team, will give you the best that we can in the most creative, fun, enjoyable way of absorbing information, more knowledge, and being a transformed, compassionate, caring citizen of this country, a happy Mindstrong member.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first of this four-part webinar series, Mental Health, entitled A Review, Itaewon Class, Life Lesson Learned, and Moving Forward. Thank you for taking your time to be with us today. And I am Lenny Gutierrez Gadiana, and I will be your moderator for this morning. It is about time that we listen to these important videos.
Hello, everyone. We'd like to greet people from Mindstrong and the Natasha Goldborn Foundation. And congratulations for setting up this webinar on bullying and how important it is to counter its effects. As you know, we authored the anti-bullying law almost a decade ago, and we encountered some resistance in terms of attitudes and social norms. Some people believe bullying was the norm, and now we've seen that change, and we've become more accepting of attitudes which reject bullying. So it's important for schools to come up with these anti-bullying policies and to push through and follow through on them. It's still a big problem in our schools, according to many studies. So I think teachers, principals, parents should be very conscious to create a safe environment, a safe haven for our children. Napaka-importante po yung paggawa po ng safe environment po na yon sa ating mga paaralan. At kailangan talaga lahat tayo magtulungan para dito. At sa ating mga experts at mga akademiko, dalubhasa na tumulong po sa atin, to our experts who are helping us today. Thank you very much for your contributions. And we hope we make progress into fighting bullying in our society, in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Angara, for giving us that very simple, impactful keynote address. Now we'll have another gentleman who is very important in our journey educating people on mental health. We will be hearing from the Undersecretary of DepEd, no other than Gustavo San Antonio.
Good day, everyone. I'm glad to be a part of this very important initiative on valuing life experiences and developing resilience in us. As all of us are aware, even during the PISA, we have been able to learn that many of our learners in the high school system are exposed to certain kinds of bullying. I think we're the country with the highest number of reported bullying among kids. So it's very important that this concern is addressed, of course, in schools, in families, and in our society. Let me also share that as we are now developing the Basic Education Development Plan for 2030, we have decided to add one very important performance indicator for DepEd. In the past, we would say we want to do access, quality, and high levels of good governance. We're now saying that we should not just address access, we should also be attentive to equity issues, quality, of course, as well, because we need high quality education. And finally, we want resilience to be a pillar of our efforts in the Department of Education. So we're very glad to note that the NGF is an active trailblazing entity that has been pushing hard for us to develop youngsters who are resilient. I know that to be resilient, just like in my own personal life, I've been able to escape poverty and went through different challenges, but I feel that I can also claim that I am a resilient person. After like setbacks, I've been able to rise and learn from them. I know, being an educator, that to become resilient is something that can be learned. So it's very important that our fellow teachers and fellow leaders for learning are able to learn how to do this. Because as we've said, only the resilient people will end up being able to experience a fulfilling life, a happy life, a successful life, if you may want to call it success. But to me, it's more of a life that gives you fulfillment, sense of authentic happiness, not necessarily derived from material possessions, but from knowing that what you're doing is able to create a difference, perhaps in your own family, but if you are that influential, difference in your communities or in our country. Thank you very much, and mabuhay.
Thank you very much, Yusek San Antonio. We know pretty well that you and Senator Angara are with us in this advocacy. All right. 16 episodes, 1.5 hours per episode. And each episode is equally interesting, enticing, captivating, emotion-filled. And with that, we will be hearing two people, very expert, really expert, and that has passionate over this thing, over mental health, and the issue will be discussed pretty well by our two speakers. Our first speaker has been described by her colleagues as unusual combination of teacher, practitioner, scientist, and advocate. She has devoted 5 decades of her life to ensuring the mental well-being of Filipino children and families. She is the founder of MLAC Institute for Psychosocial Services and will be discussing with us today the dynamics of bullying and mindful parenting. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome my idol, Dr. Maria Lourdes Honey Karandang. Let's watch the video.
Honey, I remember very well. I remember very well that lecture you gave on bullying, the bullied, the bully, and the bystander.
Yes,
I guess each one has a role. Can you please
yes.
explain the bully first and then the bullied? Thank you, honey.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that question because that was one of the first things I want to say because people talk about bullying, but I don't know if they understand the dynamics of bullying, no? Because bullying is a system. It consists of the bully, the bullied, and the bystander. It's very important that we consider it a system because somebody has to stop the bullying. But first of all, what is bullying? Diba? Bullying, what does bullying mean or what is a bully? A bully is a person who intentionally tries to harm another emotionally or physically. The target must be somebody that he perceives to be weaker than he is. So it is an issue of power. Bullying is about power, but it is not just power. It is power over another. The bully does not have a feeling of inner power, empowerment, so the bully has to find the victim in order to feel his power over another. So by definition, the bully must have a victim, which is the bullied. And in many schools that I worked with, also it happens in corporations, happens in families, there's got to be a bystander to stop it. Because if it is not stopped, it just continues and has its own momentum. So it's very important to understand that the bully needs to feel a certain inner power that he doesn't have. So he has to look for a victim. By definition, bully has to have a victim. And
Now, at this point in time, as we thank Father, we will be introducing our next speaker. Isa po ang ating, isa sa mga guest panelists natin. But later on, we will try to go back again to Dr. Honey and Dr. J-Boy, to Father J-Boy para sa mga tanong pa po ninyo. But for the meantime, I would like to give you this opportunity to listen to this very wonderful lady. Okay, our first guest panelist is the devoted wife of our beloved Senator Sonny Angara, who mentored Republic Act 10627 or the Anti-Bullying Act 2013, which was later on signed by our late President Benigno Aquino, who is also an Atenean. Di po ba, Father? Parang si Ma'am Hani rin, Atenean. Okay? She is the cluster head of ABS-CBN Sales, which includes Channel 2 Entertainment, Sports, and Integrated Cable. As a mother of three, she balances her time between seeking or approving Time TV content and raising her beautiful family. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us all welcome none other than the beautiful other half of Senator Sonny Angara, Ma'am Tutsi Angara.
Thank you, Miss Lenny. Good morning, everyone. It's really an honor and a privilege to be with all of you today. I would like to say that the words of Dr. Ahani and Father J-Boy were mind-blowing and I would like to say soul-saving. It made me realize that each and everyone here play a role in eradicating bullying. All of us here are empowered to make someone else's life better and to make a difference. Whatever a child experiences early on in their lives is really something that they will bring with them as they grow older. Sometimes those experiences are happy and they become constant sources of joy and inspiration. But other times, there are experiences that aren't so happy that can cause childhood trauma and weigh heavily on the souls of our children. When my daughter was much younger, there's this one tita I had who always made comments about her color and called her baluga all the time. I was upset at her for doing that, but didn't realize how those words would deeply affect her. She grew up very conscious of her skin, and it took years before she accepted it and gained back her confidence because my husband and I and my mother would not stop reminding her about how beautiful and unique she was. So it's true that bullying really starts in the family, but can also be remedied by the love and kindness of the other family members. That's just one example of how a single bullying incident can have long-lasting effects on the lives of our children, which is why it's extremely important that all of us, not just those who are parents, take part in creating that nurturing environment where as a family and as a society, we build up, not shoot down our young ones. When my eldest was about 7 years old, he studied at an all-boys school. He was actually bullied by two classmates. They threw him on the ground and bumped his head on the cement. They had to rush him to the hospital because his bump had swelled up. In fairness to the mothers of the two boys, they called us to offer to take care of our son's hospitalization, and they were crying, saying, "We're so sorry," and said, our son is a bad boy. Which I replied, "No, your son is not bad. How can he be bad? He's 7 years old. He's only a kid." They were just being probably rough and naughty and didn't know any better. Probably no one was telling them that what he was doing was wrong. It was not in their consciousness that bullying was not allowed and that there would be consequences for their actions. That's why what Father J-Boy was saying earlier, na maglagay ng tarps, it's important that they can see it all around them, that to remind them what they have, what kind of behavior they have to act upon in the campuses. When I asked the school how did this happen, they replied, "Ma'am, you sent your son to school too early." Of course, for me, he goes to school early so that he won't be late. And as long as the gates of the school are open and our son enters, the school is responsible for his safety. That's when I realized that there were no policies to prohibit these kinds of behaviors. There's nothing that will hold the school responsible for what happened. For the school, it was a thing between boys that should be settled amongst themselves and not something that could really weigh heavily on anyone. That's when I asked myself, What else is going on and how much more kids are being hurt from all ages, those suffering silently? As you know, my husband, Senator Sonny, has been a legislator for 17 years. And in nearly 2 decades that he's been in public service, I have only lobbied a piece of legislation to him only once. And that is Republic Act 10627, the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. Hala, I'm naiiyak na because it's personal. The Anti-Bullying Act mandates all public and private schools to have a clear policy for dealing with incidents of all kinds of bullying and hurtful behavior, including those done online to protect students and teachers as well. But as you know, even with a law in place, bullying still happens in schools. In fact, very alarming rates. I think World Bank had a recent assessment on the state of education here, and 45% of grade 4 students reported weekly bullying in their schools, far higher than the 8% registered on average across all countries. And then 40% of 15% of 15-year-old students were frequently bullied, 5 times bigger than those registered in 79 other countries. And grade 5 students who agreed that they felt safe in school was the lowest in the Philippines. Certainly, a lot needs to be done to address this situation, and part of the solution really starts at home. That's why it was really straight to the heart when Dr. Honey was talking. It's really important that we are more aware that our words and actions have over our children. I don't profess to be an expert. I can only speak from my own experience as a mother of 3 children. But what I learned is that the best I can do to equip my kids with the right attitude and values so that they don't become bullies or they don't become victims. I wasn't sure if I should share this because it's quite personal to our family, but I thought I'd open up my heart to all of you to share our family's journey. But before the pandemic, I noticed my daughter her behavior was a little bit different. She was acting, of course, diba sa mom, you know when they're acting a little bit strange. She kept to herself and didn't join us for meals. I didn't stop asking her until she told me what was wrong. And she told me that finally she admitted that in her last retreat, she got a note that said, "We don't like you. We want you out of this class, out of this school, out of this world. Why don't you just kill yourself?" She didn't tell me. She said she didn't tell me because I was going to complain to the school and that those girls would get into trouble and that they might not like her and might retaliate. See, when you are bullied, there's that feeling of there's a stigma. You're embarrassed to tell anyone. And I had to tell her, it's okay. You are not alone. If you are bullied, you must know for your well-being that you should never interpret their actions as something that is okay, or that you attracted it, or that you deserved it somehow. One of the things I try to teach my children that when it comes to bullying, you really can't control the actions of others, but you can control how you react to these actions. Bullying can cause people pain, anger, suffering, or nothing at all. In this regard, forgiveness is really key. When you forgive who've wronged you, you're actually giving yourself more power for not allowing them or their actions to cause pain, because essentially you've let it go. And in fact, forgiveness is more for you than for them. Another thing that I always tell them is when people are being mean to them or does something unfair, is it has nothing to do with you or has everything to do with the other person. Posibleng may pinagdadaanan yung bully or naglalabas siya ng galit dahil siya mismo na bully sa ibang lugar. What's important is to identify the separation between you and the one who is trying to be a bully so that you can take the high road. Of course, it's not to say that they invalidate their emotions, especially when they are legitimately hurt or feel bad. Instead, it's to recognize the importance of teaching them the proper way to manage their emotions so that they are not weighed down by them. I myself have been bullied many times as a kid by relatives in high school because I grew up in the Cordillera region. And when I came down to Manila, I was a new student and I'd see messages for me at the back of the comfort room door saying, umuwi ka na, probinsyana, you don't belong here. And as an adult, so I think all of us have gone through some kind of bullying, but I was lucky to have a very strong and supportive, loving mother to help me get through this trauma. Believe me, letting go was not easy, but once you truly forgive, even if they don't ask for forgiveness, there is increased hopefulness, decreased anger, and improved spiritual connection and compassion. This is why I really have a soft spot for everyone going through the same thing. Thus, I'm really an advocate of anti bullying. It's really more than personal. Ultimately, it's about imparting self respect, self love, and self mastery. If our kids grow up without any sense of self love or self respect, the bullying will never stop. And the violence and trauma that come with it will continue. But if we truly empower our children, not only do we teach their hearts and minds to be more resilient, we also widen the space for them to be courageous enough to one day stop a bully instead of being a bystander. Think of it of like being vaccinated. Inoculating our children with self-love and self-respect already helps in building up the herd immunity against bullying. Since we have no control over other people, we might as well focus on where we can exercise some power, our own families, with our children. If we can already touch their lives and raise them well, then we'd already be helping our society become more nurturing and compassionate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Tutsi. I can feel you as a mother. Talaga naman ang journey mo in in raising children, and you yourself experience how to be bullied. It's not easy. It's just so happened that you have very supportive mom and family members, and ikaw din nandyan ka para sa mga anak mo.
Thank you.
Alam mo talagang maganda no pag nararamdaman natin talaga yung sinasabi ng ating speaker, and we're very grateful for disclosing personal matters, no, family issues and concerns to all of us. We're very grateful for that, Ma'am Tutsi. And we
Thank
will
you.
be, yeah, we will be joined now by the founder of NGF, the president of the Natasha Goldborn Foundation, better known now today as NGF Mindstrong. NGF Mindstrong is the country representative of International Association of Suicide Prevention, which is composed of 68 countries. Ma'am Jean Goldborn.
Hello, Tutsi. Thank you. I feel like I'm a young mother again after listening to you. And this bullying is a very important issue. And I'm very grateful to your husband, who I knew when he was still single. And now you're a mother of growing up adults. And I'm very touched with what you said. And it's amazing. Today is the grace of God, Lenny, because you see everything we're saying, they're all threaded together. Father J. Boy as an educator, and Dr. Honey, who is the pillar, and how we started NGF was from the encouragement of Honey, Dr. Ricardo Soler, and also of Dr. Cornelio Banaan. Those are my three pillars that were NGF stands on and how we started. So what's very interesting is that, Honey, with the resilience that you've been talking about for almost 10 years, we were very lucky in one meeting. We started the resilience program, ang katatagan for DepEd. So that is something very exciting. And Lenny is one of the writers. It took us 4 years, 4 na taon. To all the teachers who are watching, we hope to have it ready for you by March 2022. But currently, we are pushing forward, and July 22 is when we roll it out for Cebu. Cebu with 200 teachers, and with Aboitiz Foundation as our partner. But I want all of them, everyone, all the teachers to learn more about, from grade 4 to 12, about the resilience. And it's called in Tagalog, ang katatagan ng kalooban tungo sa pagsulong ng kabataang Pilipino. I'm very proud of the work of 4 years of Dr. Lucy Banse and the team of 5. and with a curriculum specialist of DepEd. So I have USEC San Antonio to thank for Secretary Leonor Briones. I hope she's here. And of course, USEC Umali, Tonesito Umali. For everything that we're doing, you've always been around, Tutsi. Yes, honey. Tutsi, you've never said no to the NGF Foundation. And we have a long journey yet to go. But the beginning of DepEd teachers, 17 regions that will understand resilience, is already one big step. Don't you think, Lenny?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
a,
Opo, yeah. Mhm.
yes, it's a big step.
Yeah, it's
And
a big step.
and we are, for the teachers who are listening, we are restructuring Hope Line. Hope Line will be restructured so that we will have our own line for schools, teachers, and parents. And we already are in touch with 10 guidance counselors, psychologists who want to volunteer for us. We give a token of gratitude who can answer and give us a scheduled appointment to handle parents who are calling our Hope Line. So I
Yes.
hope that there may be listeners here from different cities, Davao, and definitely Dumaguete. And Josie Lim Kai Chong is a very dear friend. And because of her, we are moving forward. We would like Dumaguete to be one. And Bicol University, Tutsi, we had zero suicide for Bicol University for 3 years. And this is under Dr. Benji Nebres, who will be a speaker for the 4th webinar. This is the first time a university with more than 20,000 students reported zero suicide for 3 years. It was only broken last year in August or September with a freshman who successfully took his life. And it brought Dr. Nebres to tears because he wanted to bring it to 4 years of a campus with zero suicide. They have also
Yeah.
very little bullying. And it is because 4 years ago, when we went on a campus caravan, 14 doctors, guidance counselor, 14, we traveled with the help of Secretary Ubial Zen of Department of Health. We traveled, we had 8,000 participants in can you imagine, in 5 days, 15,000. We had 15 altogether. We had one more doctor from there, so we had 15. And we gave 3 parallel lectures, one for students, one for teachers, and one for parents. Can you imagine Tutsi, Honey, and J-Boy? We had 5,000 to 8,000, 8,000 by the end of 5 days. In one day, in 2 days, we were able to handle 5,000. It was the most exciting caravan that NGF ever did. And that's when we started to change our brand to NGF Mindstrong. So in our trip to Ireland, I would like to share with all the teachers, the government is a very, very, very strong proponent in bringing out mental health activities to schools, to barangays, to communities, and their budget is huge. But you see the effect. Governments in Europe, especially Ireland, amazing, amazing materials they have for mental health. For a 4-year-old, they already have books, and all the way until parenting, parents of 45 years old. And in Finland, parents go through a session of parenting before they get married. So for the pre-kindergarten, they don't really have a pre-kindergarten in Finland. It's the parents who are given the materials to help the children. So we hope one day, with all your support, that the NGF could also assist the pre-kindergarten children. But at the moment, we're helping grade 4 to 12. On another side, I want to react to Honey's, Dr. Honey saying that bullying can be national, it can be international, and corporate. I have experienced two employees who had gone through corporate bullying. One, she worked in a call center where she was doing ads, and she could do, uh, would you believe, in 8 hours, she could do 42 to 60 ads in 8 hours. The average for the team was only 28 ads in 8 hours. The highest that anyone ever did in her team was 32, but she could do 48. The team bullied her, and the supervisor let her go. Not the team of six who bullied her, but she was requested to resign with an extra 1 month pay. So I don't know, Tutsi, perhaps when we do our next show, which is for corporate in November or January, we would like to invite maybe somebody who's an expert in talking about the law of Secretary Sani Angara and how we can sanction the companies who don't follow the law. And cyberbullying, another girl who worked also with a very big real estate company. This happened 16 years ago. I still know the lady, the girl. She had to quit because the supervisor wanted sexual, he did some sexual advances. And when she reported it to the manager said, maybe you were flirting with him. So there's still that gender issue, male and female. So the manager was male. Of course, the supervisor was male, but he didn't look into the, the truth that was coming from this young lady who worked with me for 2.5 years. In her trauma, Dr. Honey, she put on 120 pounds. Today, she's about a 240-pound lady. So these are the effects, the trauma of bullying. But on the other scale, honey, I just got a text while you were talking from someone in New York, and she was watching you, and she said, international bullying, national bullying, we have it in America. Because if we don't get vaccinated, we are not allowed to move from one state to another. So where is our freedom? Where is our freedom? Our right to choose. Families, according to my girlfriend in the States, who is a professor, who was watching us, what's happening now? What's happening? Families are divided just because of this pandemic. So in our next webinar, this pandemic will be addressed. It's really amazing that bullying happens everywhere. And what about the extrajudicial killing that there is no reason for? So together, we can make it a better world. I thank everyone here, and most of all, Bicol University for giving us the most fabulous trophy, a 3-year zero suicide campus. And for those who would like to learn how to have a zero suicide campus, we wish to offer learning materials through Dr. Benji Nebres, which we hope to do in November. Please email us if your school is interested to find out how we can put out mental health activities, contests, skits, fun things, animation, contests. Let's put the kids into a contest mode, and let's get the parents to be involved in a bazaar, selling organic food, planting vegetables, home vegetables. Let's go into a holistic lifestyle, especially during this pandemic. I thank you all. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very